First of all, I start with my disclosures. I have no disclosures for this meeting. Am I audible now?
Yes,
so the objective of my weight loss was benefits of weight loss, goals for weight loss in the disease settings, multidisciplinary approach, pharmacotherapy for obesity, and conclusions. So obesity is known since ancient times. If you look at the documented in the writings of ancient Greece, Egyptian, and India, and if you look Sushruta, the ancient Indian physician, he has already told about obesity. So he has told that obesity is a disease attributed to sedentary lifestyle like physical inactivity, excessive sleep, and food intake, and it may result in premature death. So if you look at the obesity cutoffs for our Asians, as you know, it is at a lower cutoff. So overweight is 23 to 25 and obesity is more than 25. Similarly, we have an cutoffs for abdominal obesity, which is at lower. So India, as you know, it was #1 in underweight population. Now we rank top 5 in obesity. So the prevalence of obesity, as you can see, is 23%. So what happens with the weight loss? As you can see, the previous speakers has illustrated very nicely. These are the advantages with weight loss. You have decreased insulin resistance and decrease in inflammations. So what are the goals for your weight loss? So as you know, these are the comorbidities which is associated with obesity. So if when you are starting a drug, what you are actually aiming is 5 to 10% of the weight loss. So if you achieve a 5 to 10% of weight loss, you have 30% decrease in the visceral adipose tissue. So that will account for all these improvements like susceptibility to thrombosis, inflammation markers, and risk for coronary artery disease is lowered. So now the question is how much you want to lose weight with pharmacotherapy. So if you achieve, as you can see in this slide, if you achieve 5 to 10% of weight loss, you have prevention in diabetic, prevention, hypertension, dyslipidemia, non-alcoholic fatty liver, and PCOS, and fertility. Now, how to achieve this? This is the topic which is assigned to me. As you know, the Indian phenotype for a lower BMI, we have greater abdominal adiposity. So that is why we have a consensus statement for Asian Indians. So what is the consensus statement? So if you when to use drugs. So if you have more than 27 BMI with comorbidities, or even with more than 30 without comorbidities, you are fit for pharmacotherapy for obesity. So as you know, the treatment of obesity, even though the topic assigned to me is drugs, don't forget that lifestyle intervention is the cornerstone. So we need a multidisciplinary team as illustrated by the previous speaker, consisting of a physician, endocrinologist, a bariatric physician, nutritionist, and a social worker. So management starts with diet and exercise, but the question is how many of them really follow and get their obesity under control. So now, as you know, we need a counseling, we need exercise, we need a diet. Diet is also quite, yesterday you had a whole session on diet, so I'm not going through the diet. Now coming to the anti-obesity drugs, what all we have. So this is the pathway. So Ashish had already illustrated this pathway. So where the drugs are going to act. So it is basically going to act on the arcade nucleus and the appetite regulating centers. So which is the indication for starting pharmacotherapy, as I told you, BMI more than 30 or more than 27 who have concomitant one obesity related disease and for whom dietary and physical activity therapy has not been successful after you have tried it for 2 to 3 months. So drug therapy is adjunctive to lifestyle intervention. So don't forget lifestyle intervention. So we can have the two type approach, either a BMI centric versus a complication centric. So because various recommendations is based on these position statements. So both will have its own benefits. So once you have, what are the objective of your anti-obesity treatment is improve the health of the patient, improve the weight of the patients. And the ideal drug, whatever it has produced the weight loss, you should be able to maintain the weight loss with minimal side effects. So this is slide, you can see the Kareena Kapoor, that is, you can see the weight loss she had and the weight regain. And then she was about to again lose weight and she maintained the weight loss. So what is about the weight loss maintenance is, if you have that, the problem with the and obesity is whatever weight you lose, you have 30 to 35% of lost weight is regained in 1 year. So your drug should be able to maintain the weight loss also. So what is the criteria for weight loss? That is the individual who have intentionally lost at least 10% of their body weight and kept it off for at least 1 year. So whatever weight has been lost, you should be able to maintain that weight loss at the end of 1 year. So what are the drugs we have? We have lorcaserin, phentermine, topiramate. These are all the FDA approved drugs. We have naltrexone plus bupropion combination. We have liraglutide and orlistat. Now coming to the drugs, the orlistat is basically a pancreatic and gastric lipase inhibitor, resulting in fat malabsorption, reduce net energy intake. So the dose is 120 milligram given TDS. So the mean weight loss is around 8.8 kg. The drug-specific weight loss is 2.6 kg. These are the side effects: oily spot, flatulence, fecal urgency, oil evacuation because of the malabsorption effects. This is the slide as you can see here. The mechanism of action: once you give gastroenterine lipase is inhibited, so the dietary triglyceride is excreted unchanged in stools. But whenever you use orlistat, beware of steatorrhea. So you are placing your patients at a chance of Henry oxaluria. Then we have lorcaserin. It is 5-HT2 receptor agonist, serotonin agonist. So the problem is this was withdrawn due to the cancer link, basically pancreatic, colonal, and the lung cancer. And the cancer risk increased with the duration of treatment. Now we have something called the GLP-1 analog, that is once daily human GLP-1 analog, which has normally GLP-1 is degraded by DPP-4, so the half-life is 2 minutes. So what we have done is something called liraglutide. So amino acid sequence has been changed and provided with the fatty acids to promote binding to albumin and make it resistant to DPP-4 degradation. So the half-life is made 13 hours. So basically what it does is it causes increased satiety and decreased hunger by promoting the activity of POMC CART. So this is the mechanism by which liraglutide acts. So it will increase the satiety and decrease the food intake. So this is all in liraglutide 3 milligram influences all dimensions of appetite by increasing satiety, fullness, and decreased hunger and prospective food consumption. So this is the mechanism how it acts. So it increases satiety by promoting POMC and neuroagoutic peptide by suppressing hunger. So this is the trials. As you can see, this was the scale trials where they had patients 27, more than BMI 27 with more comorbidities or more than 30. They have been used in various scales with and without diabetes. So as you can see, the percentage of weight loss more than 10% was 24.8 in liraglutide versus placebo. Even in placebo, there was weight loss because they were on lifestyle intervention. So the liraglutide delays gastric emptying, reduces food intake. You can start with 0.6 milligram to reduce the vomiting and increase up to 3 milligram. So beware that nausea, vomiting, dizziness, pancreatitis, and this medullary thyroid cancers are the risk. Now we have some drugs which are not available in India, even though it is FDA approved, like phentermine topiramate combination. So as you know, the mechanisms are not well understood, but basically they act as sympathomimetic, which may suppress appetite and increase metabolism. Then topiramate, the mechanism of action is neurotransmitter mediated appetite suppression and enhancement of satiety. So the dose what we start is 3.75 bar 23 milligram, and the maximum dose which we use is 15 milligram bar 92 milligram. So the phentermine is 15 and topiramate is 92. So this is a very promising drug with weight loss of 6.75 kg. And the maximum dose, it is 8.9 kg. So the max percentage of weight loss more than 5% is 45 to 70%. But topiramate is teratogenic, so you have to be very cautious. You can't use during pregnancy. Beware of oxalate stones and glaucoma as side effects. Then we have naltrexone and bupropion combination. Again, the mechanism is not well established, but the motivation, that dopamine effect and the pleasure of and opioid antagonist. So the dose is 32 bar 360 milligram. So this is the side effects are nausea, constipation, headache, and vomiting. So this is in short the medications approved by the FDA for the long term, more than a few weeks treatment of obesity, starting with lipase, lorcaserin, then phentermine topiramate, naltrexone, and GLP-1, liraglutide. So this is, in short, the high intensity lifestyle intervention versus pharmacotherapy. So it is led by phentermine topiramate, where the percentage of patients who lost was 50 to 60%. So who had more than 10% weight loss. So what are the limitations of pharmacotherapy? Is poor physician patronage, only moderate weight loss. So 5 to 10% of weight loss is sustained to be a good response. Patient dissatisfaction because they need to continue the drugs lifelong. Weight regain after stopping the drugs. Long-term safety and cardiovascular safety concerns are still there with anti-obesity drugs. Now, concluding my talk, you have to have, even though it is a pharmacotherapy treatment for obesity, you need a multidisciplinary approach. High intensity lifestyle modification is challenging and rewarding. Calories and macronutrient proportions to be individualized. Pharmacotherapy therapeutics need to be explored for long-term weight maintenance, because we have few trials for with drugs for weight loss maintenance. And always you consider bariatric surgery, which improves the mortality and morbidity when they are morbidly obese. Especially for Asian Indians, you can consider when more than 32 with risk factors and more than 37. And for Western population, more than 35 and 40. So concluding that, let our patients be blessed to stay thin. So thank you for patient listening.